Hello and welcome to Fill Zone, and welcome to the second part of part 17 of Learning Piece by Piece, the complete beginner's guide to working in Motion 5. And today we are going to continue with our look at the quantized behavior, and we're going to look at how to create that simple, effective lightning strike, and how we can create an animated watch or clock face. So let's jump straight in and have a look at how we do that. We have a brand new name and a brand new intro so as to more accurately reflect what we actually do in this channel. And the big news is we have very recently, begun a brand new Facebook motion support group for beginners, a safe place where people following this course can get a lot more support, ask questions, and have no fear about asking them. So why not hit that subscribe button, click the bell, and come on over and join us in that support group. And I will leave a link to it in the description below, and we'll see you there. The easiest way to do the lightning effect is to simply draw it on. And so that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to trace over a picture that I found. And to do that, I will lower the opacity of the picture right down to almost the baseline, and now I can grab my Bezier tool and I'm simply going to draw along the top of it. Let's zoom in a little bit and we'll start drawing with our Bezier, and make sure that the points are set to linear because we want it to be nice and sharp and jagged, because that's how lightning looks. Lightning's not smooth, it's very jagged. And we're going to continue drawing. You don't have to be 100% accurate, but just make sure you've got a nice zigzag pattern. And when you're finished, hit the return button and go to shape, take off the fill, and set the width to 3. And we've created our main lightning strike. Now we can turn off the picture. We're going to just add 2 other little points. So we'll grab our Bezier and we'll just draw one. I'll zoom in a bit, and we'll just draw one off, going off on the left hand side, but again keep it a nice zigzag pattern with nice sharp turns, and that will do nicely. Hit return, take off the fill, and we'll set the width of this one to 2. And then we need to just finally add one more. Let's get rid of that. And so we'll grab our Bezier tool again and we'll add another one. And we'll just, we'll just draw it as we feel like. Something about like that. That'll be cool. Okay, hit return, clear the fill, and then set that to 2 again. And there you have it. We've created the shape of the lightning. So now I'm going to call this one main, I'm going to call that one top, and I'll call this one bottom, just so that I know which one is which if I need to go back to them later. Okay, now we want to animate it, and we're going to animate on the last point offset. So on the first frame, keyframe and take it down to 0, move forward 10 frames, and then we will move keyframe at 100%. Now we're going to, on this one, we're going to go to opacity, and we're going to do the same for opacity. Keyframe at 10 frames on 100%, and then on the first frame back down to 0. For the second one, we're just going to animate on last point offset, but we need to find the place where it comes in. So go back frame by frame, and then when you find it, it's keyframe and 0, and then move to the end, add a keyframe, up to 100%. We'll do the same for the bottom one, frame by frame to the place where it comes in, set a keyframe, put it back to 0, and then move forward to the end, and then put it up to 100%. And you've created a simple, it's just coming in a linear fashion. Okay, well that's a good start. So now we're going to go to that last point offset on the main Bezier, add parameter behavior, quantize. And then what we're going to do is we're going to set the step size to 25. We're then going to go to the opacity setting. Remember, we also did opacity, add parameter behavior, quantize, and we'll set the step size to 10 this time. And that's with next, what we'll do is we will continue, we'll add a Gaussian blur, set it to 16, and then the final filter will go to dazzle, and we will set that to 10, the amount, brightness to 90, threshold to 35, and we'll hit that crop checkbox. Okay, so now we will grab the dazzle, the Gaussian blur, and the quantize behavior for the last point offset. And we will then press Option and then click and drag to the next bezier. We'll set the step size of the quantum behavior to 10. Then highlight them all again and drag those up, or drag a copy up again, shift, click and drag. And now you've got this lightning effect where it kind of like comes in a step type fashion. But we're not finished yet, because we're going to go to the group now. We're going to add another Gaussian blur, set that to 8, and then we will go to stylize and add bad TV. Now we're going to take out the roll, so we set that to 0, get rid of all the scan line stuff, and we'll leave the waviness at 10. And now what we've got is a vibration as well going on. We need to go to the group now, go forward to 10 frames, hit O on the keyboard, and now we've got it to the length we want it, and you've created that little lightning effect. But we've got one more thing to do. Go to the total group and then make a clone layer. We'll set its position X10, position Y10, and we'll set the opacity down to 5. Move forward 5 or 6 frames, that's really up to you, and then move the clone layer up to that point. And then what you've got is a little echo behind the main lightning strike, which you often see reflected in the sky, and that adds to this really nice lightning effect. Okay, to save now, all we need to do is go to Share, Export Movie, and we need to go to Settings and make sure the video codec is Apple ProRes 4444. Then click Next, and name it and save to the desktop. Okay, over in Final Cut Pro, import it and drag it onto the top of your main clip. Find where the lightning strike ends and blade it, and then delete the rest of the clip. Okay, now to the bottom main clip, I'm going to go to All in Effects, and type in Rain. And I'm just going to grab the rain and bring it onto my bottom clip. Okay, we'll set the angle to 270 so it comes straight down, and we'll set the density to 50. We'll set the amount to 25, and then we will click High Quality. And then we're going to blade either side of that clip on the top. Okay, so to the clip to the side, what we're going to do is we're going to find our lights, and we're going to find flashing, and we're going to put the flashing drag the flashing into that section. We're going to set the intensity to just 15. We don't want too much. Then we're going to move the playhead forward a couple of seconds, and we're going to find a place where it stops flashing, somewhere about there, and we'll blade the clip again. From the final clip then, we will delete the effect. Okay, so now all that remains to do is to scale and position the lightning strike. So we'll just scale it down and position it to where we want it on X and Y. Let's move it up so that it's further back, and we'll bring it across. Just move it up a little bit more, I think. Something about like that. And then we're done. You've created that nice little lightning effect. Add your sound effects, which will make it really stand out, and it's done. It's a beautiful little effect. Very simple to do. Okay, the clock, very quickly, the clock was made with, just started with a circle and put the 4 numbers in position. Then I added a gradient background, and I played with the colors and set it to radial, played with the colors until I'd got it centered. And then what I did was add a circle mask so that it remained inside the clock itself. Then I added an outer circle and added a bloom with 16 amount, threshold 14.5, clip to white and crop. And then on top of that I added the hour and minute hands, and then added the second hand. So you need to make sure that the second hand, the anchor point, is set to the base of the line. That will help when you rotate it. Very necessary when you rotate it. On top of that, I added a tiny little circle in the center to cover the ends of the hands. And then I added a circle on the top, a white circle, and reduced the opacity to 5, make it a little bit more glassy-like. I then added the little object, the winder, on the side, just a simple shape. And finally, I added another circle to the outside, a black circle. To make the minute markers, I added a replicator, which I set to circle outline the number of points to 60. I used a tiny little rectangle. And then I used I sized it using the radius and the offset. And then I duplicated it because the 5-minute markers are generally a bit bigger than the others. And so what I did was I duplicated the replicator and kept everything the same apart from the number of points, which I set to 12. And then that increased the size of the 5-minute markers. Now to animate it, very simple. I basically go to the second hand and I animated, keyframed on Z at 0, and then moved forward all the way to the end of the project, 10 seconds, and set that to 60 degrees. That's because all the way around is 360, 10 seconds is a sixth, so 360 divided by 6 is 60 degrees. And that gives us just a simple, smooth animation rotating around over 10 seconds. Add the quantize behavior to that rotation, and then set the step size to 6, because 60 degrees divided by 10 seconds is 6 degrees, and therefore it steps forward every 6 degrees. And that creates the ticking animation that you see on a watch or a clock face. And that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give us a big thumbs up. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click that bell. Don't forget also, if you are new to motion, join our Facebook group and we will see you there. All that remains to be said now is see you in the next video.